If your coach is having you eat under 1,500 calories a day, they're starving you and they're doing it wrong. This is really just me harping on coaches. I mean, maybe that's what we need to name this episode. If you're a coach, you should know better. Shame on you. That is embarrassing and it's absurd.
Hey y'all, welcome to Water Break with your host, Water Boy, Water Girl.
Hey guys.
Gabe. It's good to be with you. You guys want to be in a conversation with us? Email your questions at RenchMedia@gmail.com. Today's a special show for you because, how do I put this? This is my wife's pet peeves when it comes to training, health, weightlifting, food, anything regards.
Anything, because it's our show. I can just say anything. It's a sanctioned way for me to talk about the things I can't stand.
I have no pet peeves, which is probably my problem.
That is not true. He has tons of pet peeves. They just don't have to do with health and fitness.
Yeah, it's probably
even some that do have to do with health and fitness.
So let's hop into it. This is I think actually it's a helpful list. It's not it's things that well, let's get into it. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
So no particular order. I assume this is
not
it.
Really.
It's just
no. I mean, I wrote them down as I thought of them, and I thought of a lot of them really quickly.
So for people who have coaches, who have trainers, coaches, that sort of relationship or situation, you say that coaches who starve their clients are a problem.
Yes.
But isn't part of losing weight not eating as much?
Yeah.
I mean, is it not? Isn't it? Aren't you supposed to starve just like a little bit?
Oh my gosh, you guys, this bothers me so much, and it is such a problem right now. And the more I am online, like in the Instagram, TikTok sphere, which I've only more recently gotten on, I cannot believe what I'm seeing, and that's why this was number one. Okay. This wins. So
this is number one, though.
This is number one.
In terms of order.
I mean, yes, it's number one. So, you guys, if you have a coach, any coach, a nutritionist, a health coach, a trainer, somebody who peddles one of those meal replacement systems like Optavia or anything, really. If your coach is like having you eat I would say ever, under 1,500 calories a day, they're starving you and they're doing it wrong. And I cannot believe how many women I talk to
around the 800 to 1,000 mark,
who literally are like, well, my coach has me eating 1,200 calories a day because I couldn't lose weight at 1,300. And I'm just like floored. Like, I do get how if you are just a regular person, this isn't your job, this is not your expertise, how you might just be like, well, that makes sense. I'll just eat very, very little, and that's what I have to do to lose weight. You may not know better. Although if you've been listening to this podcast, hopefully you do. But if you're a coach, you should know better than to starve somebody for a billion different reasons. But I mean, the biggest thing is if you have a body that can't lose weight on a really, really low calorie count, like under 1,500 calories a day, clearly something metabolically is wrong with that body that needs to be addressed. The answer is not, well, we'll just go lower, which is apparently what everybody does. Yeah, we'll just eat less. Like, that is the stupidest idea. It is so, number one, only going to work for a very short amount of time. You're going to downregulate so many different systems in that body that are probably downregulated already. That's why they can't lose weight, until you starve them that much. Yeah. It's just insane to me. And there's so much long-term damage and fallout that's going to happen, which is why, if you guys, even those of you who maybe you may not know a ton about this, you're like, I don't know that much about metabolism, I don't understand how it works. Think about how many people you know, and maybe you're this person who's done a crash diet, starved yourself one way or another. And again, it can be by any name. It can be keto. It can just be good old-fashioned, super low calorie. It can be meal replacements. It can be Ozempic, or any of, the different variations of that drug that causes you not to eat. It doesn't really matter. But how many times have you seen somebody crash diet, lose a bunch of weight, and then gain it all back and end up fatter than when they started? It happens all the time, to the point that yo-yo dieting is actually a phrase that's been, accepted into our vocabulary because it's so common. And coaches, you should know better. So if you are working with anyone that's having you eat, unless you are like a 4'8" 100-pound Filipino woman, like unless you're just a tiny person.
Yeah.
So your entire like
Your calorie intake would be shifted.
are going to be
different
like a
anyways.
child because you're just so small.
Yeah.
That is the only exception that I can think of. And even then, if you're active enough, you should be eating probably over 1,500 calories. And if you have a healthy body and healthy metabolism, you should be burning that for energy.
Why is it the 1,500 mark?
It's just
because we talked about that study before, like in Minnesota or in the
totally,
where they looked at people's calorie intake and they're all about 3,000.
It was like really, really high. Yeah,
calories,
totally.
and everyone was not fat.
Totally.
Yes. I think it was 1950s or 40s.
It was like World War II time. So that's a really great question, and you could very easily make an argument that even 1,500 is incredibly low, especially for an active person, which is what, if a coach is working with you, they should be encouraging you to be doing all these, not just starving yourself. You should be like exercising, etc. No, that's a really good point. I'm just, and it's arbitrary. I'm just saying for most women, I'm just putting that as like an
given where we're at.
Given where we're at.
Our health and fitness.
Yes,
culture.
where weight loss is already hard.
Right.
So many women have been one way or another restricting, under eating, dieting, however you want to call it, most of their life. And so when they go hire a coach, they are very weight loss resistant because their metabolic rate is very low.
And so the coach is like, well, we need to eat less.
Exactly. And it's just crazy to me. It is crazy to me, you guys, if you want your hair to fall out, your thyroid to shut down, to go into absolute adrenal meltdown, to completely quit producing any hormones, progesterone, estrogen, forget about it. That's what you do.
Okay.
And again, general pop may not know better. Hopefully you do now from listening to this podcast, over time, because we talk about this fairly often. But coaches, shame on you. That is embarrassing. And it's absurd. Yeah. It's absolutely absurd.
And in the long run, it's causing more harm than good. So you might be able to lose maybe 5 pounds in the first 3-4 weeks or something, but then eventually in a month, 2 month, 3 month following, you can't lose any
fatter than
weight.
You started.
You're done.
Because you're fighting two different categories of things. You're fighting the fact that your metabolic rate is going to continue to slow because your body is reacting to the fact that so little food is coming in. And on top of that, there are all kinds of built-in hunger cues at the brain level, at the hormone level. We're looking at things like ghrelin, leptin, et cetera, that are going to fire up in a very real way. That are going to make you eat that raging hunger that you get when you have underate, like what you get, like if you think about, you guys, if you have a really bad stomach flu and it's not like on purpose, but you basically don't eat for like 5 days, you're just like throwing up and you're sick and you're nauseous, you're not eating. Remember the hunger that you have when you finally feel better, you know what I mean? And then you gain it all back, everything you lost, because your body's compensating, right? It's compensating. It's just like, ooh, not a lot, and that's increased hunger hormones, among many other things. So you're fighting two different categories of things, and it's almost impossible to stay there. And guys, seriously, just so you know, even in the bodybuilding world, okay, which is any bodybuilder who's been in it for a while and has a good head on their shoulders understands that what they do is an extreme sport. It is extreme, okay? The bulking phase is extreme. The cutting phase right before a show is even more extreme. If you ask any of these people, do you think this is good for you? They're like, no, like this is not good for you. And the really good ones reverse diet as far up as they can during their off season or their bulk phase, so that even for them doing this very extreme thing, getting their body fat so low at the very end, even for them, their cut is not that drastic. And you see bodybuilders maybe pushing down at the very end, the last couple months before a show, you see them pushing down into that like 1,300 calories a day. And but that's like, they're like walking around like a zombie. Yeah. They know this is crazy. This is not healthy. This is not okay. And as soon as they get off that, they do the thing and they're like, they do their show. Yeah. As soon as they get off that stage, they reverse out of there so quickly. Most of them, and they will tell you this, they're like, oh yeah, and I put on 30 pounds, I've seen as much as 50, in a month. Oh my goodness. Because they're eating again, their body is, yo-yoing back
probably
really
eating
hard.
Horrible amounts. They're probably getting back up to the 2,500.
Some people do it better than others, wiser than others, but they know, okay, this is some extreme thing you can do for a very particular reason, for a point in time, but you cannot stay there. They know it, but there are so many women in this world, in the U.S., living there, living at 1,200 calories and having to go lower than that in order to lose weight. That is a terrible place to be. Something is metabolically very wrong with you. You need a reverse diet. You probably need some hormone replacement at this point. What you don't need is some dumb coach telling you to eat even less. Okay?
Yeah.
Pet peeve number 1.
Okay.
All right.
This one, I don't think you wrote the full sentence for me to
Probably
read.
not. I mean, these are my notes. It's always really fun when I write the notes and then Gabe decides
try
to
to
read
fill
them.
in.
You don't need to know what it means. I'll explain it.
So this is number 2. Kipping when you don't have strict, my guess is like strict, accurate form? Is that? You say strict, kipping when you don't have strict.
All of my CrossFit friends know exactly what we're saying.
What I just
Gabe
said.
doesn't know what he's saying.
I don't know
You
what I'm
guys
saying.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of my every single one of these. I'm going to be like, this is my biggest pet peeve. No, this one is.
Yeah.
This one makes me so angry. And this is a referendum on coaches again.
You should not be angry and do not sin.
Oh gosh, I'm angry. My blood pressure is pretty high already. Those of you who are in the CrossFit space, have been in the CrossFit space, know that there is a kipping form of a lot of movements, gymnastic type movements. So there's a kipping pull-up, there's a butterfly pull-up, there's a kipping toe to bar, there's a kipping handstand push-up. There's all these, different movements that you can kip if you want to or if it's appropriate. Now,
And didn't CrossFit make this popular?
no, gymnastics put this, the gymnastic world's been doing this forever, but it's a gymnastic element that CrossFit kind of adopted, which is cool and it's fun, right? But here's the problem. Kipping makes things easier because basically it's adding momentum and hip drive to whatever movement you're doing. It's going to make,
So if you're doing a pull-up,
Yes.
you're doing a kipping pull-up,
it's going to be easier.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
there's a swing involved, there's a hip drive involved, so it's easier, okay? And that's okay. The reason we pull it out of our tool belt when we're doing a CrossFit type workout, and I will say CrossFit kind of started this, but HIIT and all these other kind of more high intensity formats have borrowed it.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of people doing kipping pull-ups, for example, in just a regular HIIT class. So it's fairly common now, which I don't have a problem with. It's very fun, like I said, and it allows for more volume and it allows for your heart rate to stay higher because it's just more dynamic, right? So you can knock out, 25 kipping pull-ups in a row. You're not going to bang out 25 strict, especially not when you're tired. So there's a place for it. It's very helpful. However, there are so many people out there, and I'm going to say this is mostly women because a lot of this is upper body, and women tend to
So
struggle.
kipping helps women do more.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are kipping their pull-ups, they are kipping their toe to bar when they can't actually do any sometimes of those movements.
Like a natural pull-up.
Strict.
Yeah, strict.
And that-
so you're defining strict as a natural pull,
Yeah, like a
regular
normal
standard,
strict,
and control.
Yes.
pull-up.
I mean, the way in like a standard, you go into a standard gym, you do pull-ups.
Yeah.
You go all the way down, you go all the way up. There's no swinging, no momentum.
Okay.
It's all upper body. You guys, that is so bad. And if you have a coach who is letting you get away with that, you need a new coach. One of the reasons that CrossFit has gotten, like CrossFit in the Gen Pop, just, your average Joe's like, I love CrossFit or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons it has been really raked through the coals, and rightly so, is the very, very, very high prevalence of injury. And I would say one of the biggest drivers of that
Is kipping.
is people kipping their movements when tired and in high volume when they have no business doing that movement yet because they don't have
It's
the
a
strength.
skillful
They don't have
movement.
and it's strength. It's skill and it's strength. And for women, if you can't do, I make ladies be able to do at least 5 dead hang strict pull-ups before I will teach them or allow them to kip. And I think that's very reasonable. You could probably make an argument you should be able to do more than that. But if you don't have that strength base, especially in your shoulder complex, you are going to hurt yourself kipping. Okay, you have no business being there. It's like trying to run before you walk or trying to walk before you crawl, if that makes sense. I can't believe how many coaches let this go. And the rate of shoulder impingement, rotator cuff tear in the shoulders alone is so high.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be. Like, it really doesn't have to be, but you have to put the time in. You have to put the work in. And kipping is fun. It's sexy. It gets you to the next level. It's kind of a cheat, and
It feels like you can do a lot more.
well, and you can because of but you have no business being there if you have not put the time and the training in to get your strict first. Toe to bar is another one, and basically a kipping toe to bar is a rhythmic. Basically, you swing through and your toes touch the bar every single time, right? But if I
Is
can't.
that for abs or?
It's abs and hip flexors, really. And one of the biggest issues with that is that people's hip flexor complex are so incredibly weak, so weak, and it's such a problem. And then they go and they try to kip a ton of toe to bar, and it's just like you have no business being there. And so you can do several of those, very, very, very strict, but no one wants to do that. And frankly, half these people can't. They're just not strong enough. And so it's a huge pet peeve of mine. If you're doing this, shame on you. If you have a coach who's allowing it, even more shame on them. You are part of the problem, and you are one of the reasons that CrossFit gets a bad rap because everybody's injured because you're doing movements they're not ready for.
Yeah. So you're saying basically the base where you want to be at before you start kipping is at least have 5 standard
Yep.
pull-ups.
You should not be doing a kipping handstand push-up. Don't even get me started on the cervical compression of your spine that you are undoubtedly doing to yourself. Kipping those when you can't do one strict. Okay, so you guys just don't do it. Okay, don't do it.
My wife's passionate about that one, definitely.
So mad.
The whole idea, what works for me, what works for everyone.
Yes.
I mean, this has been in the fitness world, and I remember, working out with my buddies. They're like, "Oh, I love doing this," and they, you should do this because I love doing this.
Yep.
Just there's this cultural wind that blows in the fitness room. I mean, CrossFit in a lot of ways would apply to this.
Sure.
It became like, oh, everybody's doing CrossFit.
Yep.
You should be doing CrossFit.
Totally.
And stuff like that.
Totally. Anything.
So
you could put anything in there.
Yeah. So what works for you doesn't work for everyone. Really, is what you want to get at.
Yes, it's a huge. I think right now, guys, again in the health and fitness space, from like a coach perspective, this is one of the biggest issues in the space right now. Is how many influencers? And I'll just use the word influencer. They can be online, they can be in person. Doesn't really matter. They could be a gym owner, they could be a coach, they could be anything. But how many of them absolutely fail? Because their biggest message and their only framework or their only paradigm is this works for me, so it should work for you. And I mean, it's so, I don't know what the right word is. Like, it's like baby talk. It's like thinking like a baby or reductionist. It's oversimplifying something in a manner that really does a lot of damage. And it's so funny because if you take a step back and you disconnect from that little microcosm, everybody knows that everybody is different. Like, everybody knows that. We all know that. Some people are just naturally big. Some people are tiny. Some people are hungry all the time. Some people struggle to eat. Some people are high anxiety. Some people are naturally very strong. Some people are very weak. Some people can run really fast. Some people can jump really high. Some people like staying up late. Some people like getting up early. Some people like meat. Some people like vegetable. Like, everybody's different. And we know that.
And how you lose weight.
Yes. Different things work for different people.
Strength,
This isn't even that complicated, and it's not even like a disagreed upon trope, generally speaking. But for some reason, you get into the health and fitness microcosm. Everybody's like, well, this fit-looking guy says that I need to do carnivore, and he's doing carnivore, and it works for him, so that's got to be the right answer for everybody. And I mean, like, how stupid is that? Like, that's so dumb. And we've talked about this before, but there's so many things going on here. Number one, you need to consider that so many of the people drawn to this space to begin with are all the same kind of people. Okay, they're either, and I've said this before, they either had a transformation or they've always been fit and athletic, and so they're like, well, I'll just share this with everyone else, and it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you be like me? Or like, why is this so hard? It's like, honestly, it's just like all the runners out there. Like, they're not skinny because they run because they're skinny. Okay, like they all genetically were bent towards this to begin with. So a lot of the same things. Bodies. Yes, exactly. A lot of these same things. Like, I just eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight, and I don't understand, everybody should do it. Yeah. Everybody should do it. And it's just like, there's these other people who are like absolutely sick when they eat that much protein. And it's a bad form of reasoning, and it's childlike. And I just think the coaches should know better also.
So maybe for this, for the audience that's tuned in, who, all right, I believe what Annie's saying there. What works for me might not work for my buddy, whatever.
Yes.
So how should they maybe figure out what does work for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is one of the reasons you guys want to find a coach who actually understands this stuff, because there is a ton to sort through. I mean, your body type, your age, your gender. I mean, just the whole male female thing. I mean, how many women do I talk to when they're so frustrated? They finally come and find me, and they're like, "Well, I've been doing my husband says I should be doing. I've been doing his Old Navy SEAL workout or his old football workout, and he lost 30 pounds, and I gained 3 pounds, and my hair fell out. You know what I mean? I mean, stress levels. Are you sleeping? Like, what is your background? What's your current fitness level? There's so many things that are going to determine or be determining factors in what the right choice is for you. And there's also okay, well, maybe this is eventually where we want to be, but where are you right now, and what do we need to do to get there? So working with someone who really understands all these things and understands the nuance and understands that just because something has worked for you does not necessarily mean it's going to be a good idea for them. If you run into anybody who's like, I run, so everyone should run. Right. I do keto, everyone should do keto. I am vegan, everyone should be vegan. I do CrossFit in the 5 a.m., everyone should do CrossFit. Then just run away from them, okay? Because there really isn't any one thing thing that everybody should do besides maybe like eat whole food, sleep at night, drink water, and take magnesium. I mean, there's basics that like, I mean, honestly, there are some basics, but that's not what most people are preaching. They're preaching something very specific.
That's good, baby.
And
That's a good point.
it's way more nuanced than that. And it's a huge pet peeve because again, coaches should know better.
Okay.
This is really just me harping on coaches. I mean, maybe that's what we need to name this episode. Why so many coaches suck and don't listen to them.
Why coaches are bad. Hey, y'all. Just a quick break to tell you about a company we love, Dusty Rose Tallow. This is a small Christian family-run business started by our friends Dustin and Katie Van Vliet. They've got 3 little ones running around, and Katie's actually a nutritional therapy practitioner, so she knows her stuff.
You know we're always talking about how what you put in your body matters, but what you put on your body is just as important, and that's why Dustin and Katie started making their own skincare products using grass-fed tallow and real traditionally infused oils. No hormone disruptors or weird chemicals, which I love.
They've got everything from whipped tallow creams to sun balm sticks and even candles, as you see here on our table here. Every product is made with care so you can focus on the good works God's called you to without worrying about what you're putting on your skin.
You can check them out at dustyrosetallow.com or follow them on Instagram at dustyrosetallow. We think you'll love them as much as we do.
Husbands, okay, number 4. This is number 4. Husbands who won't pay for a gym membership, training, or a program for their wife. So what happens is...
Pivoting here a little bit. Yeah.
So what happens is...
I hate this.
Is a lady might come to you and say, hey, I would like to lose some weight, or I'd like to get more healthy, whatever. And so, but then it kind of gets disclosed throughout the process. You know, we don't have maybe money to pay for gym membership, or we don't want to put money aside for a gym membership. We don't think gym memberships are valuable, or a trainer's valuable, or whatever. So we're going to get home weights, and we're going to do the things at home, whatever. You know, that kind of scenario.
Yeah, or it's worse. I mean,
what would be worse?
I just, you guys, husbands, and I'm coming after you guys, because for 2 reasons. Number 1, usually the husband is the breadwinner, usually, and so you're the money, okay?
You provide for the family.
Yeah, and rightly so, okay? And then number 2, I'm coming after you because wives are just generally speaking, women in general, wives, whatever, are not very good at advocating for themselves. They're very naturally concerned with everyone else, nurturing everybody else, taking care of everybody else. I know there's exceptions, but that is a tendency of theirs. So it is very difficult for them to recognize something that they need and then ask for it or suggest it. They're just not very good at it. Now, wives, a lot of you need to get better at it because, you know, your husband's busy and he's not a mind reader. So everybody needs to grow in their own way. But husbands, I think it needs to be your idea and you need to be the driving force here to
Well, what do you mean your idea? Because it's also going to be a sensitive thing.
I know.
You've had guys call the gym before and say, hey, I want to buy a 6-month membership for my wife for her birthday.
This has happened a couple times.
It's happened a couple times. This is real.
This is back when I was head trainer and I had to have these conversations and I didn't know any of these guys and I literally was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, buddy.
Did she ask for... Okay, guys, listen. You don't give...
If she asks, do it.
Yeah, but don't go giving the gift of fitness for an anniversary or for a birthday. Okay, that should go without saying. You give her jewelry, okay? This is not a gift. Yeah. This is a normal expense, just like you would pay to have the oil change on your car, okay? And I will say this, gentlemen, most of you would never let your car get into such disrepair as you allow your wife's health to get to. Okay, and I know, and I mean that, and I hope it hurts. Okay,
and I'll say, especially for if you're in the phase of having babies, the baby phase is where we've probably seen the most damage.
Oh, just
because what'll happen is
disaster.
Mom will have a baby, and then usually within 2 years, about 2 years, Mom will have her second baby, and then we basically did this too, but we're different. Or you're different, not you.
Yeah.
And then in year 6, by the time you're 5 or 6, you're pregnant with your third baby. So you got 3 babies. We had 3 babies under the age 3. So we had them within roughly 2 years of each other.
2 or a little less, yeah. Which is tight. In my opinion.
And so, but what happens is, now you're different because you're self-motivated in this area, but what happens is the mom doesn't get back into a place where she can recover physically.
Yeah.
And so a little bit of damage done in the first pregnancy, and in the second pregnancy, you don't recover, and it gets worse and worse. And then by the time you're into your 3rd or 4th pregnancy, your body can't recover hardly at all. Your abs your abs are stuck basically out here.
I like how you explain things.
Yeah,
your abs get stuck out here.
And
way out here.
And so you've created so much weakness in your body, and
Yeah.
who knows how unhealthy physically you are to even pick up your fourth baby,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a disaster, you guys. It's a disaster.
So the husbands, and here's where the I think the real problem is the husbands. I have no problem with having babies close together, but you have to be making sure your wife her body can physically recover. You know, if you're training for a boxing match as a boxer, and you get up to your match and you have your boxing match and you box, and then if you turn around, you know, within 3 months and boxed again, that'd be horrible for you. It'd be so your body hadn't recovered.
Yeah.
In the same way, a wife who has a baby and then she turns around and a year and a half later, whatever, 2 years later, gets pregnant, has another baby. Well, during the time that she can heal, like really help her heal. Really help her body get back together. So this is I'm just summarizing kind of a place where we see probably this being the most egregious problem.
It's a huge problem.
It's
a huge problem.
And by that, we've seen this with our friends in our community. We've seen by the time they're their third or fourth baby within 5 years or whatever.
Yep.
The mom is bedridden like the last 2 months of pregnancy. She has maybe even diabetes induced or pregnancy from or she has like preeclampsia. I mean, all these things that just stack up.
Yeah.
And you're increasing the risk of killing your baby too, which is really sad.
Obviously, mom's health affects baby's health.
So this is something I would say in our reform communities we've seen that's not really discussed, and I don't even really think thought through very well. And this is why I'd say why you're putting most of the attention to the husbands in this is because, like, dude, it's your job, guys,
to take care of your wife.
Take care of your wife, and especially if you're in the middle. I mean, having a baby is fighting the curse. You're basically at war with the world when you have in your body when you have a baby.
Very depleting. Very depleting to mom's body.
So help your wife recover to where she can get back to as best as possible normal strength to deliver the next baby. That's not happening, and that's where I think the pet peeve. I'd say that's where the pet peeve for me is the worst.
Yeah,
is because of how unhealthy you're making everybody, and potentially putting your baby in health harm.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation in, I would say, our circle and probably in a lot of Christian circles where we are all very, very pro family and pro baby, which I'm all for. But there is zero discussion or emphasis on taking care of mom's body before, during, after.
You're right.
And also,
before or
just
after,
just being a wife and a mom is a very physical job. You ideally want a healthy, strong body. You want to not have brain fog. You want to be sleeping at night. You need all these things in order to do a very, very physical, demanding, important job. And these women are so unhealthy. They feel so terrible. And again, like, we do maintenance on our cars. Like, what are we doing? Not taking care of
the wife.
Yes, taking care of her health.
And her body.
And I said it in terms of a gym membership because so often I hear like, well, it's just not in the budget. It's not in the budget. And it's like, well, what is in the budget? You know what I mean? Like, are you stop having children if you cannot afford to take care of mom's body in an impactful, effective way. And I have no issue with somebody working out at home. It's a lot harder for moms. You need the right equipment, which many people aren't willing to invest in. And that means heavier than 5-pound dumbbells. Okay. Yeah. And it's just hard when you have little kids who are there all the time. It's really hard. So this might be you investing in a babysitter, paying for babysitting so she can get work done at home or, at a gym, whatever. This might be literally kicking her out the door and being, you got it, don't feel bad, just go. I've got it, the babysitter's got it, whatever. Paying for the gym membership, paying for a trainer, because it's not enough to be like, hey, just go to the gym. A lot of women don't know what to do. Yeah. They have no idea what to do. Why would they, you guys? And do you know also, women, moms, they have a lot of the time a very extreme case of what I would call decision-making fatigue, okay? They make decisions all day for their
kids,
family, for their children, for people who call them on their phone, for their mother-in-law, for their husband. I mean, like, constantly, what are we having for dinner? What should we do? What time is this? They are so tired of making decisions. So one of the biggest blessings, even if you have a wife who does know her way around the gym, even if she does, just giving her a trainer, sending her to a class that's a good idea for her, getting her hooked up with a program that's, again, a great idea, intelligent, a good idea for her, is such a blessing, because it is just 1 hour of the day where someone else tells her what to do. And we really love that, okay? I mean, there's so many layers of things going on here, and I just cannot believe how clueless men are about this, how uninvolved they are, how unconcerned they are, and how they don't understand that just being like, well, look up something on YouTube, that's not enough, okay? And if you want her to actually hurt herself, that's what you can do, okay? Because if you come off of 3 babies and you're like, okay, it's trash, it's a dumpster fire, I gotta start somewhere, you can't just go to some random Pilates class and expect that to help you. You need to start where you need to start. Some women are in such a bad place that they need physical therapy. You actually need to go find a PT
So not even a
before
personal
you
trainer.
go to the gym.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
and that can be the goal, but you really need to make sure that you are getting her the right kind of coach, the right kind of instruction. You are making the investment. You are talking to her about it in a way that you are like, there should be no guilt here. This is 100% worth it, and this is part of it. This is part of the baby having, the family building.
Yeah.
It's part of it. It's maintenance, you guys. And again, think
You gotta
about
train for physical
think
events.
of the
This is a
maintenance you
physical
do
event.
on your house. Think of winterizing your boat. Like, men are obsessed with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there's a huge disconnect, and their wife is just literally crumbling in front of them. You know, so huge pet peeve.
Okay. And then lastly, I think related to this, we need to address the wife.
What are you going to say to her?
If your husband wants to help you get in shape, don't take it negatively.
yeah.
Okay. Take it as your husband wants to care for you, not just spiritually, but physically.
Yes.
Okay. And
say it
don't,
nicely, guys.
say it nicely. Come at it.
Don't
well.
make it a birthday present.
Come at it.
Okay.
You know,
no birthdays or anniversaries.
But wives also
Any other time is
do
fine.
not put your husband in a place where he has to come to you delicately
Yeah.
about an issue like this.
Don't be precious. Okay.
You know, don't be precious about it, and
Don't
don't
be
be
precious.
get easily offended about this. In fact, it might even be good to, and this is where Annie makes a really good point here. It might be even good to ask your husband, hey, do you think I should go into the gym? Hey, do you think we could even find time for me to start working out during the day or something like that?
It's
It's
fine
like,
for it to be your idea. It's just harder. Women are hard. Women have a hard time with it.
but if your husband brings it up, do not take it as an insult or something like, oh, so you think I'm fat? I'm not good enough looking for you, you know, those things.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it might be true that you might be a little too fat right now or something, you know? But don't
Lots of things can be
yes,
true at the
lots of
same
things
time,
can
you
be true.
guys. That's part of being an adult.
But take it as your husband is trying to help you and care for you.
That's good.
And all that stuff.
That's
so
good.
there we go.
That
There we
was
go.
a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
this is so fun.
And I'll tell you one last thing there. Like, whether it's a gym membership or you're working at home and buying weights to work at home, in one sense, I'm agnostic on that. The issue is, are you disciplined and can you do it?
Yeah, can you do it? Home is
Most
hard.
of Annie's clients
Home is hard.
cannot do it at home.
Yeah,
They need a gym membership,
It's
which
doable,
helps
guys.
motivate the process
Yes.
and get you out of the house, get
Yes.
you, it's actually almost kind of a little bit of a blessing during the day.
Yep.
You don't need to work out for an hour in the gym. You could work out for 25 to 30 minutes and that be satisfactory for where you're trying to go. You might have
in
a little.
in a lot in situations, yeah. And it's way better than nothing. It's way better than nothing.
That's right. All right. Number 5. This is, I can't tell you how many of our married friends come to us.
This is the worst.
They're married.
Yeah.
We know they're having sex.
And
they come to us and they say, oh, we had another surprise pregnancy.
We're pregnant. We're so surprised.
Yeah, we're so
what
surprised.
A surprise.
Oh, man,
What a surprise.
We were just being a good husband and wife
I
and
mean,
loving each other and surprise.
I can't believe that I'm having a baby. You guys.
If you have a good marriage and you're making love regularly, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen more often than not. Listen to me. Listen to me. Unless you have had a vasectomy, okay, and you still get pregnant, that's a miracle. You know, that's like okay.
It jumped the golden state bridge. Something happened. Something
God
happened.
wanted this baby to happen, and you really did your best. And it's just
tubes are tied or
what
whatever.
can you do if your tubes are tied? If the condom breaks, that sort of thing, and you still get pregnant, you can call it a surprise. Okay, because that's valid. It's a surprise. Like, oh, we were responsibly, supposedly, effectively preventing, and I still got pregnant. That's a surprise. If you are just in a mental space where you're like, well, I don't want to be pregnant right now, but you're having sex, you don't get to be surprised. And I'm shocked because I feel like kids learn this like in high school. It's almost like people don't understand like where babies come from. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you need to stop telling me or anyone else that you're surprised. If you're doing it, and you're not preventing it in a real way. And I don't just mean like some sort of random family planning thing, okay?
I'd maybe add one other scenario. I've had friends, they thought they were done having babies, and then 10 years later, they had a surprise baby. That's a surprise.
I don't know. Even then,
you think God is like kind of shut down all the baby things,
maybe.
and then 10 years later, it's like,
but
whoa.
most of the people I'm thinking about are not any of those people. They're just like just being really dumb, honestly. And again, you want to get pregnant, but don't call it a surprise. Okay. And I will say this kind of falls under this category, and this really does bleed into what we were just talking about, the pet peeve before this. One of the biggest issues with people's inability to take care of mom's health and mom's inability to thrive throughout the baby having years, which can be a lot of years, right? Is that these pregnancies are not responsibly spaced out, okay, because they're always a surprise, which again, I don't understand, but you guys mom needs time. She needs time to build up nutrients in her body again. It's very, very depleting. Pregnancy is very, very depleting. This is why, gums bleeding, loss of bone density, all these things are very common during pregnancy because that baby is taking so much from her. She needs time to heal, to not be pregnant, to eat good food, to exercise, to rehab her abs, to rehab her pelvic floor. She needs time, okay? So, please stop being surprised when you get pregnant. And give, I think you need 2 to 3 years. And you can get mad, you can disagree, we did it tighter. Cash and Liv and Vita were about 2 years apart, which is planned.
Vita and Cash.
We made it a little tighter, but I was on it, all right? I was in shape before, I ate like a pro, I was in shape after, so it was okay for me.
And also to add, because Annie was in shape before having the baby, after having the baby, she snapped back well, and it didn't take tons of time to get back into a place where it's like, there's still, your body still gets wrecked and you still have time, but your recovery process is way tighter and way faster.
Yeah, and I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot, which is not normal, and I understand that, which is why I recommend 2 to 3 years, you guys, 2 to 3 years, and especially as you get older, and especially if you're going for number 5, number 6, you need time. Mom's body needs time. And also, I just see moms dealing with so much overwhelm just at life in general when their babies are stacked in so tight. It does make things so much harder. And it's hard to even have the energy to want to exercise when you have 3 babies under 3 waking you up at 30-minute intervals in the night. So in so much as you can control, which is a lot of things, try spacing them out. Okay? For the sake of mom. And please don't call pregnancies a surprise when they're not a surprise. All right?
Hey, y'all. If you care about raising your kids to love Jesus and staying strong in today's world, join us at the Fight, Laugh, Feast Conference, October 16th through the 18th at Rocketown in Nashville. This year's theme is School Wars, not Star Wars, School Wars, all about equipping Christian families to disciple their kids and rebuild Christendom. There's teaching, fellowship, jumpy castles for the kids, fun for the whole family. Annie and I, hopefully our kids too, will be there and would love to see you there. Register now at fightlaughfeast.com. Hope to see you in Nashville. All right, number 6, doctors who don't understand hormones. So doctors who don't understand hormones and say it's just part of getting older. So are you talking about ladies maybe in their 35 to maybe 45 range where this really becomes a problem?
Getting earlier and earlier.
It's kind of premenopause,
yes,
kind of
perimenopause. It's getting a lot earlier, and even before that phase, you have hormones in your body that can be dysregulated. There's young girls with low progesterone. There's thyroid issues. These are all hormones. This is a huge problem, you guys. I really take issue with this. Listen, I understand that to become a doctor, you have to go to med school. To become a nurse, you have to go to nursing school. I get that. And you get the education that you get, But
again, it's all government driven.
It is. Well, that's
you need to be
part
far
of my
more
point.
skeptical.
Yeah, that's part of my point.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that as things are right now, you're almost 100% getting a degree in pharmacology. And I know that. I know that. And that's not really your fault. You're not getting, I think most doctors will say they either got zero education on women's hormones or especially as it relates to perimenopause and menopause, or at most they got 1 day, so they'll admit that. It's just not a part of the curriculum, okay? So at best, you guys, because women are 50% of the population-ish, right? And every single one of them has hormones, and Their hormones are important when you're young and cycling. They're a huge issue when you're perimenopausal, which can be anywhere from 15 to 10 to 15 years, depending on the woman and how early she starts, et cetera. And then you have the whole other situation of being menopausal, which is a very large chunk of a lot of women's lives. At best, doctors, you gotta educate yourself. I'm sorry that you're not taught that. I think it's silly. I think that med school needs a huge. It just needs to get a lot better.
Right.
But you note that it's needed.
Getting away from the government.
And do some self-education. Now, I know that's hard because you have all this debt, you're busy, you're tired, you have your own family. I totally get that. So at most, do some self-education. Whenever one of us finds a doctor like that, we're blown away. We're like, oh my gosh, like you actually know something. And you're not just mimicking, what you've been taught, which is hormones give you cancer and it's just part of getting older.
And the COVID vaccine works.
I mean, yeah. So do some self-education. I know it's extra, but it is very, very needed. And there's a lot of women suffering needlessly. Now, at minimum, and this is what really bothers me, just admit that you don't know something, okay? Because there's so much ego.
Specifically talking to the doctor.
Yes. There's so much ego. And the human tendency...
And there's a lot of hiding behind that medical license.
Yes. And it is a very human tendency when you have a title or a degree or I have this PhD, I'm a doctor, whatever. And you put a lot of time and money and study into getting there. I understand. It's very, very tempting to be like, don't challenge me. I don't want to sound like I don't know something, so I'm going to poo-poo anything I don't know about.
Yeah.
Reverse T3, oh, that's bogus. Really what that means is I don't know what it is, and if I drew it, I wouldn't know how to interpret your results.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I personally I love it when a doctor or a nurse or anyone who's a healthcare practitioner says, you know what, that's not something I know about, but I will either refer you to someone who does, or I'll do some research and I'll get back to you. I respect that so much. There's no way you can know everything. We just talked about the fact that your education was in no way not, like naturopathic, holistic, that you don't learn about nutrition. You don't learn about a lot of things that you should have learned about. And again, that's not your fault. You did not write that curriculum. You're not the teacher. But I can't stand it when doctors, when they feel threatened and they're like, well, that's something I don't know about. They'll say, oh, it's stupid, it's unimportant, or it's just part of getting older. Really? Really? Like hot flashes, not sleeping, having rage for no reason. I mean, the women are, gaining weight, like gaining 30 pounds when you've changed nothing. These sorts of things happen to women in midlife all the time. Yeah. And nothing is more frustrating than a doctor just being like, well, it's all in your head. Just eat less because they don't know. Just admit you don't know. Yeah. I mean, even better, self-educate. But if you don't have time for that or you're not interested in that, just say, I don't know, and find someone that you can refer them to who does. That would be so much more helpful. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say there.
It's okay. I said
all right.
Both of us.
So number 7, not dressing for your body type. I got a lot of opinions on this.
We've talked about this on the show, and I don't even have that much to say. I just can't stand it. I can't stand women who don't dress for their body type. Moms, please help your children, okay? Help your daughters learn how to dress for their body type. Now, number 1, get your body healthy, right? There's a healthy and not healthy version of every body. There is. I'm not here to be like, Lizzo looks great. I'm not saying that. She doesn't. Gosh, is she dead?
No,
she's not dead yet.
Apparently she's on a diet plan.
Oh, good. She's probably on Ozempic.
Right. I have no idea.
She's on a diet plan.
She's
eating a lot of fiber.
Yeah. So.
No, but a lot of these really obese influencers who are kind of spearheading, who are kind of famous and spearheading the healthy at any size thing, are dead. They die because it's really not healthy. So I'm not saying that. But there is a healthy version of everybody. And there's all different kinds of bodies. There's really lean, really petite. There's really curvaceous. There's really muscular. There's different, Yeah. And you just want to be the healthiest version of that. So number 1, try to get there. Exercise, eat well, do all the things. And then stinking dress for your body type, okay? And this is sort of like what we were talking about where it works for me, it works for everyone. It's like if you see a certain type of trouser pant on some girl and you're like, well, that's cute. That does not mean that it's going to translate in a good way onto you, okay? There's just certain things that you should be wearing and there's certain things that you shouldn't be wearing. And you guys, seriously, book a consult with me. I will help you with this, okay? It's not even what I do. I will help you because it is so bad. It is so bad. And there are so many women who have so much body confidence issues. And you can tell by looking at them, they do not think they're beautiful. They do not have high self-esteem in terms of how they look. And they could look so much better if they just figured out how to do their makeup, how to dress for their body type. Yeah. It's sad.
And I'd add to this 2 things here. One is husbands.
I love that you have so many thoughts about this.
Yeah. Husbands, if your wife and daughters particularly are dressing frumpy, help them.
Yeah,
if
throw
they
some
don't have
money at them.
if they don't have
Hire
the clothes,
someone.
help them. This is a great way to love your family and love particularly the ladies in your family.
Yes.
Secondly, related to this, husbands, um, do not be um, uh, um,
I don't know what you're going to say.
weak, or do not be weak on this. Do not be shy on this. But you need to have biblical standards for how your family needs to dress, and you need to, not be slow to talk to your wife about this and the kids, and don't just talk to your wife about this. Make this a family conversation too. Make sure your family is talking about clothing, and point out when you see ladies dressing in a very inappropriate way. Like, no, we don't want to do that. That's not a good way for, our bodies are more valuable than that trash, Trash. So make sure that you are being a good head of your family and not being, I'm forgetting the word, like a coward, basically.
Like uninvolved.
Uninvolved and
Yeah.
a coward, and not insisting on what you see it. And to some extent, there's a little subjectivity in this conversation. There's great biblical principles that you bring to this, but some families, don't want their daughters wearing jean pants, and some families don't have no problem with their daughters wearing jean pants. Those dresses and
Jean pants.
whatever, jean pants, whatever, jeans, whatever.
Scandal.
Yeah. So, but what you want to insist on the kind of biblical standards that is honoring your wife and your daughters in being able to dress appropriately and look good. Like that's the
That was kind of my point.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's my first point. Don't if they're dressing frumpy, if they don't look good, then help them.
When you see a girl or a woman, you can just see it when they I don't know the best way to put it. When they think that they're beautiful, or when they are taking care of themselves. You can see it, and it can look a lot of different ways on a lot of different people. But you can tell when a woman is well taken care of and looks like she takes care of herself. And you can tell when she just doesn't. Or she's given up, or
or she gets no encouragement from mom and dad on it.
Or it's the wife. Like, I don't know. So I just think that's a really big deal. And dressing for your body type is a big part of it.
That's right. Okay, number 8, years of classes and can't do one strict push-up.
Oh.
So what happens is you
these,
either get into the gym, or you go to a class, or you kind of been working out for a long time, and you've been working out in very, let's say, inefficient ways that you actually never grow in the capacity of actually, you give an example here of just like one push-up, one strict push-up, one normal push-up within.
It's insane. It's insane. Guys, there's so many, and this is mostly women. Obviously, women dominate the group fitness scene, usually in standard gyms. Obviously, you get into like CrossFit and stuff, you see it's more mixed, but like there are so many women who've been going to like strength training classes for 10 years.
Can't do a push-up.
15 years. Still can't do one push-up. Can't do one pull-up. Like, they're so weak.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to tell you, like, and this is not like to make you feel bad, but that's insane. And it's a bad plan. Now, if you just want to say, I don't care, and I know I'm not getting stronger, and I just go here because I'm moving my body a little bit, and I like the social aspect of it, I guess that's fine. I still think you should be doing more impactful strength training, because that's really important for a billion different reasons, so you can actually build strength and see some sort of progression, right? But at least be honest with yourself. It's not working, you guys. If you've been doing the same thing in the same classes for years and years and years, and you still can't do anything, basically, that's so sad. And like, if you had a better plan, and you got a better coach, and you had a better whatever, you should be progressing.
You would be wasting your time.
Yes, you would be progressing so much. And part of the reason is these are just, they're not programmed well, they're not taught well. And so many of them are high intensity. It's high rep, it's zero breaks, it's high heart rate, and you're not going to get stronger in that setting. And so just number one, stop it. And number two, if you're going to keep doing it, don't call it strength training, because it's not. And if you are going to the gym in a dedicated way and you still can't do one push-up, that's a problem. And you need to change something.
All right, so we got 2 left. Let's see if we can get through here in the next, to honor everyone's time in the next couple minutes here.
Yeah.
Number 9. Kind of a pet peeve here is running for weight loss. Running for weight loss. So I guess this is particularly for women you're getting at. Would it be?
I mean, men just have everything easier when it comes to weight loss, so it's hard. It's a bigger thing for women, and I think more fair.
That's what our daughter, when she was 3 years old,
She used to whisper.
Yep.
No.
No fair.
And it was so funny.
Yeah. But she needed discipline for it.
I had to tell her
but
not
it
to
was
say
really hard not to laugh and discipline her.
It
Go ahead.
was so
Okay,
funny.
running for weight loss.
So a little bit more. Women have more of a tendency to do this. Women tend to care more about weight loss. They have a harder time losing weight, and they're more cardio bent. So it is. But I would say it's true for men too. You guys, running. I just cannot even reiterate this enough. Running is a terrible weight loss strategy. Okay, and this is being said by someone who actually has ran most of my life, and I love it, and I still do it. Okay, but if I wanted to lose weight, like if that was my main goal, I would not be running. Okay, I might throw some sprints in here and there because those can be really effective for fat burn. But other than that, I would be lifting really heavy and I would be like incline walking. Okay, that's what the bodybuilders do. They do it for a reason. Running is a very, very bad strategy. It, number one, cues hunger like nothing else does, okay? In most people, it makes you so hungry. It makes you eat so much more. It is very hard to counteract that. It also gives you, a lot of people, this sort of, I ran 5 miles entitlement. I deserve this. I deserve this bag of chips, this Costco muffin, whatever. And you don't, and you can eat your caloric burn very, very quickly and then some right after your run. It especially if you do a lot of distance running, it catabolizes muscle, and muscle is your metabolism and your insulin sensitivity. So it's just a really bad plan. I'm not anti-cardio at all, but the whole I'm going to run 5 miles a day is not a good strategy. Also, if you get injured, you are screwed. Because all of these people, for all the reasons we just talked about, are eating a lot. Usually, they're starving. They can't control their hunger. They feel entitled. And then if you can't run, all of a sudden you hurt your knee, you get pregnant. Whatever happens, you're in a really bad place. So I just really, and don't even get me started on how many bodies are out there trying to run who are not built to run. Yeah. Just not built to run. Okay, the bigger, taller you are, the odds of running being a good idea for your body go down quite a bit. And this isn't to say you can't, you can run. You can run down the basketball court. You can run from here to there, but just don't make that your sport when your body is please, no. It is by nature very stressful. You could swim, you could bike, you could hike. There's so many other things that you can do that are less stressful to your body, less likely to injure you, less hunger inducing, okay, than running. So just a lot of people need to let it go. And I'm telling you right now, in order to, what I'm doing, in order to overcompensate for how hungry the amount of running I'm doing, I have to run really aggressively and it hurts, okay? It hurts. Most people are not doing that. They're just doing those poopy face 3 to 4 mile runs most days of the week. It's not an even trade. And this is why, if you don't believe me, there are so many fat runners, okay? There's so many of them who are casual runners and they're overweight and they look the same as they've looked for 10 years, if not a little heavier every year. And it's a bad strategy. Yeah. Okay, it's a bad strategy.
Okay. All right, last one. Mom's not letting dads ever be right.
Oh man, this is so funny.
It's not letting us be right.
Oh, stop.
Let's be honest.
Stop.
You aren't letting me be right.
This is unrelated to health and fitness really, but I actually talked about this concept with 2 different friends in the last week or 2. So I was going to write this down. This is a big thing. And because, one of the things moms are always saying and thinking about and talking about is well, I just want my husband to help me more. I just need more help. I need more help. When he comes home from work and it's just oh my gosh, help me. And I get it. And some husbands, honestly, you're not very helpful. You know what? If all you like to do is sit around and smoke cigars and talk about theology, you probably should stop and be more helpful, okay? Don't have so many kids if you're not going to help or be involved when you can be. But on the mom side of things, there is a tendency to really, really want that from your husband, but then every time he tries to do anything, okay, I'll go play with him outside, or I'll put him in the pool, or I'll feed him, anything. Yeah. We're oh, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. Oh, not like that. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's not safe. Oh, he doesn't like it. Moms, you understand that kind of behavior, number one, is damaging to your kid, okay? Do you want your kid to be gay? Okay, is that what you want? Do you want your son to be gay? I'm not joking. Okay, then
helicopter.
And
steer him away from your dad's authority.
And baby your child, and then there you go. Yeah. There is a reason a healthy family has a mom and a dad. Moms are naturally more nurturing. That's our job. We can't really help it, okay? And dads are much more naturally like, what is the right words? Usually discipline comes more naturally to you. They are much more able and willing and concerned with like hardening up, toughening up their kids. And your kids need both of those things, okay? So number one, yeah, if you don't want your kid to be gay, you need to let dad rough up your kids sometimes. And just, if you can't handle it, just go for a walk. Like just leave if you can't handle it. And then secondly,
As he dumps your kid in the pool.
Yeah, as he dunks whatever. Just leave. And I mean, hopefully you didn't marry a psychopath. I guess if we back up to there, you do need to be careful who you marry.
We're talking about normal marriage.
We're talking about normal people. And secondly, nothing will shut a man down in any situation than you constantly nitpicking and telling him that he's doing it wrong. All right. So if you're wondering,
as it comes to the kids. And,
yes, exactly. So if you're wondering why your husband is not a little bit more like assertive and helpful and like, I'll do this or I'll do that or no worries, is because you have a problem with every single thing that he does because you are neurotic and you are over nurturing and you're expecting him to behave like you. Yeah. And that's crazy. And you don't...
Or to behave like your kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. So you have a husband. He's a man. His perspective is different. His style is going to be different. His job is different. So let him do that.
The leader of the family.
And stop having problems with it. Even if he's not doing it the way that you would do it, you are probably going to be better off just saying nothing and then saying thank you than interfering. Even if, you're like, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Just leave him alone and let him be a dad. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that bothers me. Yeah. And that's it.
I mean, that just, you also are constantly stressed about everything. I mean, you're doing things to yourself. It's making your life more difficult and more exhausting.
Let it go. Yeah. Stop worrying. Say thank you. And, walk away if you have to walk away. Wow, we got through all 10.
Very good, baby.
I didn't think we were going to.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining our Faith and Fitness show, Water Break. We're looking forward to being on actually hopefully DirecTV and Dish in August. We'll be letting you guys aware of that as we get more information on that. And then if you want to be in a conversation with us, email us at RenchMedia, RENCH Media, @gmail.com. Ask us anything there. We get a lot of emails from you guys and our audience, and it's a great place to have a conversation with us. So you can follow Annie on Instagram, me on Twitter if you care more about politics, and whatever I do as it relates to basketball or politics of sports and everything. So you can follow me on Twitter, Annie on Instagram, and we will see you guys actually next week with Joel Salatin.
Yeah.
And hopefully just a fun time with him and an interview. So
that'll be fun.
Thank you for joining Water Break.
Bye, guys.